welcome back, my heartbeats. I want to apologize in advance because you may hear my husband in the background in the living room. He is in the living room living, so I'm not going to stop him from doing that. Um, I am probably the most excited that I have been about doing a video so far because I always get to watch the curriculum videos and I never do them because I'm super self-conscious. And I'm always like, well, what are the other moms going to think? Because we are dual learners. We are not homeschool family. We do both. So I kicked it all to the wind and we're doing it anyway. So I'm super excited. I'm going to go through what my technically first grader and second grader will be doing this year at home. So in school, they will be in first and second grade, but then at home, they're doing something completely different. Now, I want to preface this by saying that they are not the average first and second grader, and you should not at all expect that your student should be doing the same things that they are, or that your family should be doing the same thing that we are. We are all different. We are all perfectly imperfect, and that is fine. So I'll start with let's go first grader. So my first grader is going to be doing mostly the good and the beautiful outside of our family subjects. So he'll be doing level 2 handwriting. And he is, let's see, 11 pages in, 14 pages in. So he's 14 pages in. Let me see if I can get the camera to stop doing this. Hold on. Let me check my settings. All right, let's see if that worked. Why is it doing that? Maybe I need to get closer. Is that a thing? I'm learning good. Well, we'll figure it out together. All right, so he's going to be doing this level 2, and it's not cursive yet, but he does know all of his letter. He's able to form all of his letters. He knows his alphabet. He knows how to form the letters very well. And so this is just extra practice before he goes to cursive. My daughter is working on cursive, and my son would love to, but he may do another level 2 after this one before he goes to cursive, just because their maturity levels are different. So that's handwriting. For language arts, he is also using the good and the beautiful, but I hate how blurry this is, y'all. But I printed this one out. I normally just buy the book, but I printed it out because for my daughter, she was grammatically on one level and then with her reading on a completely different level. And so for level 3, for her, I ended up ripping out a lot of pages and supplementing with fix-it grammar. And so this time, instead of ripping out pages, I printed the pages, and like midway through each lesson before it gets to the independent practice, I put a page of the fix-it grammar. So it's like fix-it grammar. It's not fix-it grammar, it's easy grammar. Sorry. I put a page of the easy grammar. So, and it's just simple things like capitalize the names of the days of the week, use correct punctuation. Is this your pen? They have to put a question mark. Words that rhyme. They gave him the word all, he put ball, and then combining sentences. So this is where he's going to get into beginning to write a little bit more. Now in level 3, there is a significant amount of writing, in my opinion. There's also sentence diagramming. I completely nixed that for my kids in level 3 because, again, I'm not about levels. I'm about where my kids are and what they need. And so they needed the next level for reading, but they weren't ready quite for the level of writing. So we kept the grammar. I added in some more grammar, got rid of the sentence diagramming and the writing. And then so he was just left with, there are a lot of other lessons, but that's to me just reading and grammar as the spine of what he'll be doing. And so there are still some comprehension pages in here. And then he's got geography journal. I love this word work. Bio means life, hydro means water. So there's some morphology in there. Ooh, the art. The kids love the art. Okay. They can't get enough of this art. So there's a lot in here. And it's not just appealing to me. When they say the good and the beautiful, it truly is good and beautiful. And so they've got comments and dates, literature study. We don't do the literature studies. We do not use their books, the good and the beautiful books. We have in the past. But because they also go to school, they do accelerated reader, they need to take tests, and the good and the beautiful books are not AR books. So we do not use them. Not that they're not wonderful, they are fabulous. Um, Animals and idioms, irregular, past tense, weather. I really love the comprehension that they tie in science and social studies into the comprehension. So that's pretty cool. Love it. For math, he is going to be using the good and the beautiful level 3. And he is definitely math minded. He listens to me teach his sister, and then he'll pretty much have it. So um, we school year round, and that's how they're on the levels that they are because we don't necessarily take breaks. These lessons don't take them long. So whatever time during the year, we normally do 4 days a week, and then they go on and live their lives. During the school year, they'll get up, they'll do the lessons before school. If they do them before school, then they don't worry about them after school. I don't make them do homework because that's not the level that they need to work on. So this serves as our homework. Um, and he already started level 3. He is on lesson 17. So he started level 3 this summer. He's on lesson 17. He has covered numbers through 10,000, addition with regrouping, multiplication, subtraction, story problems, two-story problems, telling time to the nearest minute, measuring and estimating, measuring length, inches, feet, yards, multiplying by 100, 1,000, 10,000, intro to metric units, half and quarter past, half past, quarter past, quarter to, and now he's on estimating distance of miles and kilometers. So he's getting through this. He loves math. This is his baby. We have the darndest time getting him to read, but now that he is able to read, he's loving reading. Find him with a book. It's time to go to bed. He's reading. He's waking up. He's reading. He loves comics. He loves characters. Um, it's not necessarily nonfiction that he's reading, but I don't really care as long as he's enjoying it. So he's having a good time with that. For math, both of my kids have these clocks. I love these clocks. If you turn the minute hand and the hour hand moves, this has been really important. And then recently, on Amazon, there are these clocks where it says half past, quarter to, and then it shows the minute, hour, second hand. It's been very nice because in our dining room, we have a clock for my husband and I. I can ask them the time looking at our clock in here, and I just call to them in their room. They each have a clock like this in their room, and they're able to tell me the time. I try to make sure that I get the quarter past and the quarter to because they were having a problem with that. But we've had this for maybe a week or two, and it's helped a lot. Not even a week or two. No, it's been like a week. So that's been very helpful. This we've had forever. So that is math for this was all for my first grader. Bear in mind that we started I started with my daughter, schooling her. Learning is just a part of our life. Okay. So essentially, from the time she was 3 months old, I was always doing something with her. And that's why I'd say I don't explicitly remember ever teaching her her letter sounds individually because I taught her from the time she was 3 to 6 months old, and she just always knew. My son was different. And we really started explicitly teaching him when he was 2.5, 3, and we've just never stopped from there. So he started on the preschool level when he was 3, and we've just continued on. We don't take breaks, we just keep going. So that's how he got to this level 3 book. All right. My second grader, she is also doing the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. She did all of the levels up until level 3, and she actually also did level 2 twice. So now she is doing her cursive. She just started cursive, and my sweet baby's giving it her best. So you see, they're not perfect, but she's giving it her best try, and we just go through and I'll tell her do a line, do 2 lines, let's go back, let's fix it. But she is very adamant. She wants to do write in cursive because she doesn't like people being able to write in another language that she can't read. She doesn't like that. So she is very adamant that she wants to do her cursive. So that is handwriting level 3. Okay. Again, remember, we never stopped. So my daughter is currently doing the end of language arts level 3. Although she's going to second grade, at the beginning of this school year in a couple weeks, she's going to start on level 4. Okay. Um, I did not make her do the writing in level 3. So this is going to be a really emotional year for us because she is ready to write. She wants to be an author. She's got The Good and the Beautiful has been wonderful for fostering a love of art, and she loves art. So she's got all these illustrations that she's ready to put into a book, and she just wants to write. So we will be completing the new level 4, and I don't know why I have the second book, but whatever. Um, inside of level 4, when I went through and looked at this, it's pretty cool because you're able to write paragraphs in different lessons. So, like, one lesson will be the introductory paragraph, then another one will be body, then body, body, and finally conclusion. And so it breaks it up in a way that she's not going to lose her stamina. It also gives, direction. So, for the opening paragraph, your opening paragraph is given to you at the top of the next page. You will learn more about opening paragraphs in the future course. For now, you will practice reading opening paragraphs. So she's getting an introduction. This one is already given to her, this opening paragraph, and then she's able to go back and actually write one it says in later courses. Now, I'm not sure why my husband decided to come over here. You just ignored those sounds. I don't know why I guess he just needed to be left. Bless his heart. All right. So also in this book, like I said, in level 3, I didn't make her write. I didn't make her sentence diagram. But the sentence diagram doesn't go away. And that is not something that I had in school, but I think it is very beneficial because it breaks up the sentence into subject and predicate and then goes even further to break it down into how you can describe the subject, how you can describe the predicate. And I think that's important for knowing how to write and using vivid verbs and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Our focus for level 4 is less on learning grammar, learning how to read. We are now reading to learn, and we are learning to write. So, my little baby, she's not a baby anymore. She is still in second grade. Okay, she's still a little kid, but it's it's just different because we started this and she wasn't able to write her name. Like you remember those things. Second grade. Continue on with her math. This math is amazing. I know that everyone has mixed reviews about the Good and Beautiful math. However, I am in the state of Florida and it more than covers the standards that need to be covered. Now, they don't always cover them the same exact level as the benchmarks that are outlined um, with the best benchmarks. But everything you need, K through 5, is going to be covered and then some. So we're like level 3, it focuses mostly on multiplication. In grade 3, they're going to do multiplication and division. So if your student was to go back in grade 3 and they hadn't covered multiplication yet, but then that was on the level 3 fast test, then there'd be some discrepancy there. But overall, it's amazing. That's the biggest thing that I've noticed so far. So, um, level 4, my daughter and I, we have both loved it so far because there are video lessons. So I can teach my son, and she is doing her video, and 9 times out of 10, the video does what it needs to do. She does not need me. Now, I will go and I will check and make sure that she's following along, make sure that she's doing the example. She's very good at pausing the video. There's always a pause the video and work it out section, and she does it beautifully. So we are both loving this because she does not have to wait on me while I'm helping her brother. I can go back and forth between them. I'll just check her work and we keep it pushing. Just like her brother, she's already started this level this summer. She is on lesson 19. She's on lesson 19. So far in level 4, she has covered numbers in nature, addition review, subtraction review, solving for unknown, multiplication review, division review. And like I said, division does come up in level 3, but it's not as heavily covered as multiplication. So it is near the end of level 3 and you get exposed, but there's not a whole lot of automaticity there. Writing numbers, geometry, rounding to the millions, mental math, addition, rays and angles, polygons, fractions, mental math, and elapsed time. And elapsed time was such a beautiful lesson because it introduced it. It gave her 2 different strategies, and she used the one she wanted to use. She loves that strategy. She's done. Boom. It's awesome. So we have nothing but good things to say about the Good and the Beautiful math. I know that it gets mixed reviews, but we have also tried Singapore Dimensions and Abeka Math. And although they were both great curriculums, oh, we also did Horizon. And although those were wonderful curriculums, that is not what we chose to stick with. We've done level 1, 2, 3, and now 4 with my daughter. It was the kindergarten level when we tried Horizons, Rebecca, and Singapore Math. And we did keep going with Horizons and the Good and the Beautiful for K and 1. And I want to say half of 2 for my daughter. But she didn't need it. It became a little bit monotonous because she didn't need it. All right, so that is it for their individual subjects. Now for family subjects. For family subjects, we are going to be doing, we already started, but we're using Fields and Flowers, and there is a guide as well as a read-along book. Now, I know that I said we don't normally do the books from the Good and the Beautiful. However, this particular book goes with the science, and so we will use the books that go with science because they're amazing and the kids enjoy them. Let me try to turn down my light, see if that helps. Boop. It helped a little. Okay, so we are doing that for the first couple weeks of the year. We've already started and we're on lesson 6. There are, I want to say 30 lessons. Let me look. Yeah, there are 30 lessons. So we're on lesson 6, and we use this as our nighttime story. I'm not perfect. I don't do it every night. So this will probably carry us through August, September, maybe. And then after that, we're going to be using Apologias. Y'all ignore all my sticky notes. Apologias, Exploring Creation. I know this is the old version. The knowledge is still good. We're using it. So this is going to be awesome. Now, that is it for what I'm going to physically show you. But I also have a PDF. No, not a PDF, an Excel sheet, spreadsheet of my long range plans for the year for them, because this is how I stay sane and this is what I go through and check off. We're not perfect. We do not do everything every single day, but for the most part, we are consistent. And so I use this to keep myself consistent and to at least try to do something. And then we go back and we update. And if there's something that didn't go well, we just write that down and keep it pushing. I am fine if my kids finish this. I am also fine if they don't. It does not bother me in the slightest, and we will just keep pushing. Um, I need my charger, so I'm gonna ask my husband to get it. Honey, will you bring me my charger? Sorry, still learning this thing, doing my best. So I will share my screen with you. All right. So these are my long range plans, and I'll be quick because I don't think my husband can hear me. I think he has headphones on, and so this is probably going to die, this camera here. So for my long range plans, I just keep my dates on the left side of the screen. Um, I am very, I like things a certain way. And so at the bottom of the screen, you'll see years from now until forever. Any years that I've already completed are over here down to the right on years that say completed. I started in 2024, and so you will see how I did things then versus how I do things now. And like I said, I'm less about levels and more about skills and what they need. And so you'll see that reflected in what I'm doing. So like I said, there was some good and the beautiful, there were readers. Um, this was back when we were still doing Horizons Math and the Good and the Beautiful. And so you'll see like book one, that's Horizons Math and things like that. But let's go back to this year. For this year, you'll see up here at the top, this is the levels that they're doing. And so, like I said, they're doing levels 3 and 4 for language arts. I also have book studies. Since we are not doing the book studies from The Good and the Beautiful, we do our own. We've already done The Mouse and the Motorcycle, The Lemonade War. We've done 4th of July read-alouds. We're doing Story of the World for our social studies. And so you'll see on here, we have Flat Stanley, the World Adventures, and Great Egyptian Grave Robbery. That goes with our Story of the World because we're on volume 1, and they're in ancient Egypt right now. Uh, so there are also some things to go with that. Then we've got Magic School Bus, The Secret Garden. I know what y'all are thinking, The Secret Garden. It's like very old English, and a lot of kids have a hard time understanding it. My kids, if it's a read aloud, they love it. They're going to listen to it. We're going to talk about it. It's fine. And so that's what we're doing. So they've got The Secret Garden. They've also got lower level books like The Tiny Seed and The Magic School Bus Plant Seeds. Um, Chocolate Fever. They already read Chocolate Touch last year, so that's going to go with coming up on Halloween. Little House in the Big Woods. We have not read that yet. I have a lot of activities that I would like to do with that book. I read that as a kid during my homeschool. Okay, take two. Let's try again. So I think y'all know my laptop ended up dying. So we'll try this again. Little House in the Big Woods, I read when I was a homeschooler myself, so I'm excited about that. For it during October, we're going to do Funicula Strikes Again because we already read the first Funicula last October. Then we're going to go into some ancient Greece to go with the story of the world. Pompeii Buried Alive, Detectives in Togas. That's going to also go with Story of the World. We've got A Bear Called Paddington. Then we'll have Christmas. And I will tell you, I have a ho ho holiday good time at Christmas. So you'll see we have a break after we do Junie B. Jones, Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. Um, our field trip, we're going to see the lights. Science, going to be Christmas science. So there won't be a whole lot of book work going on around Christmas and Thanksgiving, but we will be doing family fun things and they will be getting life skills centered around the things that I like to do. We'll also have New Year's books. When we come back from our winter break, the kids will get to choose their book, and then we'll go into Story of the World Book 2. We'll look at Vikings, The Whipping Boy, The Door into the Wall, Lion King of Malali, Castle Diary, The Tales of Despereaux, Pippi Longstocking, and Edward Tulloon are going to finish us out. So those are our book studies. Now I'm going to go back up here. We've already talked about math. We have this field trips and activities section. And so it will never be completely filled in, but because I am who I am, it'll be 2 o'clock in the morning and I'll roll over and I'm like, you know, what would be so cool to go with that novel study would be a trip to Shipwreck Island. Or, you know what we could do to go over botany? Go to Just Fruits and Exotics and look at some plants there at that nursery. So as things pop into my head, I just put where we could go along with that because that is one of my favorite things to actually go and explore and take learning from just being in a textbook or a workbook and applying it to the real world. So we've got Story of the World. We already talked about science, Spanish. I love Spanish, and I'm not going to embarrass myself and speak Spanish on this video, but I am able. I do understand almost completely, and I can speak a little Spanish when necessary. So we will be looking at greetings, colors, and numbers. We have tried Talk Box Mom before. I'm just not that committed. Okay. I should be, I want to be. Maybe one day I will be better, but we just don't do it long enough. So my thought process is we're going to work this whole year on greetings, colors, and numbers. They already know most of them from when we were doing Talk Box Mom, but at the very least, I can speak to them in the Spanish that I know, and then they can work on the greetings, colors, and numbers, and that will be good enough. For life skills, we're going to make sure that they are making their bed every day. My 7-year-old has learned how to do the laundry. My 6-year-old cannot do the laundry fully. He is able to put it into the dryer, but not the washer yet. They both can fold their clothes and put them away, so they need to make sure that that is done. We'll be really focusing on learning how to cook next year, so they're just making sure that they've solidified kitchen safety in the kitchen. For vocal lessons, there's a woman that we really like on YouTube, and so we'll do her free vocal lessons on YouTube. The last thing are the top 5 jobs for the kids. Ooh, Lord. Look at that typo. Ooh, don't judge me. So Marielle's top 5 careers this year, I'll ask them every year what their top 5 careers are. And for Marielle, she decided that she wanted to be a nail tech, makeup artist, dental hygienist, business owner, and hotel manager in that order. And so in her perfect world, she would do hair and or nails and makeup for weddings. And then 3 to 4 days, she would be in dental hygiene. And she would do that until she goes on to have a family. And then she said she'll give up the makeup artist and the nail tech. So you can see where her mind is at. Now, my 7-year-old, he wants to be a carpenter like Jesus, a contractor, firefighter, police officer, or construction manager. And so he already told me that he does not want to sit at a desk. He wants to do something where he can move around and be active. And that tracks because he just likes to flip and be free and run around and play all the sports. So that makes a lot of sense. I am not going to go into my full long range plans from K through 12, but I do have those plans. So if ever anybody's interested, I would be happy to share maybe my elementary school plans in one video, middle school plans, and then high school plans I kind of have to pray about because they're very different, and I don't know if I'm ready to share that just yet. So I'll pray about that. All right, so that is it. I finished the first curriculum pink video. If you enjoyed this video, I know it was super long and we had some technical difficulties, but if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and you will see more content like this. Bye.